Section 2. I really just want to help you understand that concept of we the people. What does it mean to be an active citizen, to care about the foundation and preservation of our country, of our people? And I really personally believe that the saddest thing about the state of our politics is that so many of us have just given up. That we've just begun to realize that maybe it doesn't matter. And when apathy spreads, things fall apart. Because you see, when we're dealing with a small community, if we're thinking about the 12 of us in this room, hey, what do we need? Well, it's a lot more personal, right? If one of you needs something, well, then we need to get you that. And we need to figure out how to make that happen. It's personal when you can see the person. But if it's someone in North Dakota or someone in Nebraska, one of the 300-ish million people in our country, maybe you don't feel as closely connected to that community. That's why we have American flags, we have common customs, Independence Day. All those are to make you feel more connected as a community. But with the huge number of people in our country, our system is vastly complex, and that brings up the term bureaucracy. And then also we think about welfare. And welfare is a political term. It's part of family assistance programs for those in poverty. But it also just generally means the good of the people. And then finally, volunteerism. And that's just an active effort to make a difference. And so, a lot of people, when they hear volunteer work, they're like, oh, that's what the old people do in Hendersonville. Okay, that's what I'll do when I'm an old person, I guess. Maybe, yeah. I'll probably be actively involved in volunteerism when I'm old. Probably help out in the schools in some way, because it's what I do. But volunteering to me now, well, it's a little more broad. That means if I see a member of my community that needs help, I try to identify that need, and I try to be a part of the solution. And so, by volunteering, and once more, that's not just going to specific places and programs, but just by identifying needs and being part of the solution, we really make our community a better place to live. We really do. Helping people feels good. It really does. I love that I get to help people for a living. I go home exhausted every day, but I go home satisfied. Because what I'm doing, I really feel like, is being a small part of a big solution. And it makes our community a better place to live. But guess what? We also get to do all kinds of fun stuff. Volunteering and being part of a community allows you to connect with people. I never would have met you guys if I hadn't worked in the school, and that's awesome. You get to learn new things. And all in all, it makes our community a better place to live. So here are some aspects of good citizenship. Number one, you share. Not just the share your toys that you learned in daycare, but no, you're open. I'm going to bug you guys until you start talking in here. I'm giving you a few weeks to just kind of be yourselves and not bug you, but over time we're gonna get you talking, because sharing, and if you're not comfortable, I'm not going to make you do it, but sharing really does help you feel more connected. It really does. When you begin to open up and talk more, man, it really does. It makes you feel more connected as part of our community. But also sharing concerns. And there's that balancing act. Sometimes we all get in a grumpy mood, and believe me, I can spend months where I just go through a rut and I'm complaining. I'm like just feeling negative that month for whatever reason. And even though we can get in a rut on that for sure, sharing concerns is an important part of being engaged in the community. helping one another. Lending a helping hand. It's huge. It comes down to identifying a need and being part of the solution. What can we do to help you? Because there are many pressing social needs. In our community, there's poverty, there's homelessness, there is food insecurity. What do we have to overcome that? Well, we have a number of social programs. We just brought on a new social worker. If you haven't met him, his name's Mr. Sutton. He's set up in Frady's old room. He'll be there, I think, 2 days a week. He's here today. Super nice guy. He has way more energy than I do. And he will talk to you, get to know you. And it is his job, his profession that he went to school for, is to help identify needs in our community and to fix them. It's what he does for a living. And so he is a great resource. So if we have a kid that's struggling to get food, we will fix that. And so we address social needs as a part of our community. Because after all, welfare may be a political term, but more importantly, welfare means the health, prosperity, and happiness of the members of a community. Because if we really believe the Declaration of Independence that all are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, if we really believe that, and we really believe that we are a part of this country, if we truly believe that, then we should be concerned about the health, the prosperity, and the happiness of the members of the community. And again, there's different perspectives on the political spectrum of this. But the bottom line is that being a part of something means you care about these things, not just in yourself, but in other people. Finally, there are government resources. But what I want you to understand is they're limited. We have Mr. Sutton. That's a big deal that we have Mr. Sutton. Henderson County just committed to meeting those social needs in a really big way. We hired 8 social workers for the county. This is big. 8 for the whole county. And that's still really big. We're thankful he's here. And he's here 2 days a week. That's the best we got. But he's here. Again, if you want to go meet him during group time, I'll drag him in here. We'll meet him. What we need to understand is that those resources are truly limited. And guess what? They're run. This is the sad one. They are run by very complex bureaucracies. A bureaucracy is a fancy term for a complex system with many departments, many rules, and many people in the chain of command. I've talked to Mr. Sutton a couple times. Super nice guy, very engaged. Again, he has way more energy. I'm just like, well, I need more coffee to talk to you. But he is way engaged in our community. But he's only here 2 days a week. So let's say you meet him and you're like, oh man, what you're doing is, the work you're doing is great. We need more of that. Well, good luck. We'll see him twice a week. And getting more than that, well, this is our barrier. Is government resources are limited. And so once more, that's why I'm pressing the idea of you finding the needs. If nothing else, letting us know the needs, and we'll do what we can. And so that's why ultimately volunteerism is so important. And that is the practice of offering your time and services and expecting nothing in return. It can be giving of what you already have. I like social media. I don't like the political arguments and the rancor, and I'm trying to wean myself off of that. but I like the community aspect of social media. You know, someone posts on there, hey, I need this. Someone else has that. Awesome. Connect the need with the have. And when that works the way it's supposed to, it's a beautiful thing. You know, scroll past all of the garbage of people arguing about stupid junk and find the good stuff of people saying, hey, can you help me with this? And then you'll see someone else post and say, hey, I have that thing. I can get that for you. That's when social media works. The rest of the stuff, you know, it is what it is. Well, volunteerism can be a number of things. It doesn't, I just want to emphasize, it doesn't have to be joining the Kiwanis Club and hanging out with the old people and handing out meals. Though that is part of it. But in our community, what does that mean? In all honesty, that might mean there's a kid at lunch sitting by themselves. You know, your teachers, we've observed there's a freshman that eats by herself every day. We don't know. That may be her thing. Yeah, that may just be what she wants. And so, just from hearing you guys, it seems like you've already reached out. Or someone has. And you know what? That's cool. That speaks well of our community. Is that you already know who I'm talking about, and you've already made some type of contact or inquiry into what does this person need. Guys, that's volunteerism, and that's beautiful. Okay, so it could be other things. You know, my wife is passionate about animals. She would give up her job. I mean, maybe like after retirement, she wants to be some type of animal rescue worker. That's what she loves. We would have 20 dogs if it were up to her. They'd all be rescues, and we just don't have the time or resources. But that's what she's passionate about. And so we give to our local rescue agencies. Asheville's got Brother Wolf. There's Charlie's Angels that works for Henderson and Transylvania, and they rescue animals from shelters and they connect them with families. And if that's something that you're passionate about, I recommend you look those folks up, because we give them money, we help when we can. It's something that we're passionate about. My mom is passionate about the elderly. And for most of her adult life, she's been going to visit folks in the nursing home. She's been connecting with elderly people in her church. And she meets with a group of older ladies now to make sleeping mats for homeless people. And they do that once a week, and hopefully those mats are going, I guess they're helping people. But for her, that's kind of her volunteerism. And I hope you understand the importance of this. And it doesn't have to be giving up a Saturday, because those are dear to me. But it really can be just connecting with the people that you are around. You know, it could be as simple as like, this weekend I'll be out kayaking. Last weekend I was out kayaking. That's what I do on the weekends. Generally just like one afternoon a weekend. And you know what? I try to talk to everybody I see, because that's just who I am. And I try to get to know people and reach out and help them connect to the larger community, because that's just something that's important to me. Okay, so let's put this into action. So you guys have opportunities to contribute to society. We've got our Club Rush coming up this Friday. That means, tomorrow. That means that we've got a number of social clubs on campus. And there's others in the Career Academy too, and most of them will allow you to join whichever. And so and there's clubs, there's all types of clubs. I couldn't tell you all of them. I mean, the Career Academy is offering clubs that you can go to and visit. We're offering clubs that Career Academy kids can come to and visit. And I want to encourage you to try something new tomorrow. I mean, SGA will be here. You're always welcome to come in we're working on events and stuff, and Vaughn can clue you into the details there. But there's Needlepoint Club, there's Gamer Club, there's I don't know what else. I mean, there's all kinds of awesome clubs, and I'm really excited about that. So it's just a way to connect with people. And that's often where it starts, is when you get to know people, you feel like you're a part of it. So how can you do this? Obviously, charitable organizations. There are many groups that will happily take your money. And they will hopefully, use discretion there with how they spend your money. But you need to exercise discretion when you decide to donate to a charity. Figure out where that money goes. And so there are charitable organizations. As a kayaker, American Whitewater is important to me. That's one I give to. And I have followed the money. I kind of looked at their financial reports every year to see, okay, here's what this is being used for, and I feel that it's valuable to contribute a small amount to. There are community service clubs at school. We got Key Club. Miss Willingham's all about that. And then, of course, we have national service programs. If helping people is truly a passion of yours, and traveling is also a passion of yours, maybe the Peace Corps would be the thing. It's a cool program. They go to countries all around the world, and all they do is help people. They have the government resources to make it happen. They go into a village that's impoverished, and maybe they dig a well, and that's their project, and then they move on. I've got a friend who runs a nonprofit in Greenville. I'm paddling with them this afternoon. It's called Aid Joy. They connect third world villages with medical services. That's his career. And I love talking to him about that and meeting with him and hearing what he does for a living, because I just think it's amazing. And so there are global programs like that. Okay. The United States federal government has a number of outreach programs. We do more than just blow people up. We also help to rebuild communities. The U.S. Freedom Corps is a part of this, and it is their purpose to spread compassion around the world. When the tsunami hit Indonesia about 8 years ago, the U.S. Freedom Corps responded with aid workers, with supplies, with contractors to rebuild homes and structures, etc. So these are some of the big ones. Obviously, all the ones I mentioned are great. The Freedom Corps is something you can join and you can actually make a living in. The Peace Corps is the same. None of these will get you rich, but they're all incredible opportunities. But guess what? Local businesses contribute. All of our 5Ks, the 5Ks that we host every year, I hope we're doing this one again, they have sponsors. They have sponsors from our local community. The McMinn family, their grading company, donates for our 5K and a number of things that our school does. The Scarduzio family's business donates and helps with a number of the things we do. Many of your families have donated and helped with our school. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Like, I remember Con's mom brought us all snacks for the DC trip, and I just thought that was awesome. Yeah, and that was so sweet. And I was like, oh, thank you. Yeah, and that was cool. And that's a version of volunteerism. Yeah, so anyway, and we ate the heck out of those snacks over the trip. So, and those are just, various ways that you can help. Most local businesses in this community, probably all of them, if I had to guess, help in some way with a nonprofit. For one, it's cheaper than buying a commercial, and it's a lot more effective. Let's say my favorite local barbecue place, Hubba Hubba, just over here in Flat Rock. They're great. If you haven't been, you should go. Let's say they donate money for some road repairs at Blue Ridge. So Blue Ridge might put up a sign that said, "These road repairs brought to you by Hubba Hubba." And then you see the sign, you're like, "What's Hubba Hubba?" Oh, it's barbecue. I love it. Okay, great. And then that's business for them. Helps them. It also helps our school. Okay. Yeah, so how do volunteers benefit? I mean, the benefits are enormous. I think the coolest one is that you can make friends this way. Guys, one of the easiest ways to make friends is to do things for people. You know, it's simple. I'll never forget when I was paddling one weekend and a guy brought a barbecue grill to the parking lot. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. His name's Dylan Parker. We've been friends ever since. It just cost him a hot dog. And, you know, I've had friends who just by virtue of who they are, they just reach out and do nice things for people. And guess what? Those are some of the most popular people that I know. You know, when you're giving, you get as much back in return. And so you also help to make the community around you a better place. And guess what? You get to learn cool stuff too. You know, if you join knitting club, I mean, if I were to join knitting club, I have no clue how to knit. You know, I've been watching you for years, and I'm fascinated by it. So I might join knitting club someday and learn how to knit. But you know, the coolest part about it is I would meet all these interesting people that can hopefully teach me how to knit. So anyway, I think that's